you were one of the people that was subscribed to me originally when I was like 13, welcome back. If you're brand new, welcome to my channel. My name is Madeline. You can call me Maddie, Mads, really whatever you want. Yeah, I'm back. It's been quite a while, I know. About 7 years, 7, 8 years, 9 years? Yeah, 9 years even. I'm almost 22. That's math for you there. I decided I wanted to give this YouTube thing another go. I really missed it. It feels a bit strange being back in front of the camera. Not gonna lie, it's probably gonna take me a bit of time to get used to this. But I really missed doing beauty videos, and I am kind of sad that I deleted all my old ones and stuff because in high school I got really embarrassed by them and I decided that I didn't want to have them on the internet anymore. And I've got them saved somewhere in my old room at home on DVDs, and I probably hid them and I'm never going to be able to find them again. But here we are. This is my channel take 2. So yeah, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a super kind of rambly intro. If you're wondering what I've been doing since that last channel there, I finished middle school, finished high school, and I've got my bachelor's degree. So quite a lot has happened in that period of time. And I've also, probably biggest thing of all, moved to England. So I used to live in New York State, and I have moved over to the north of England, which is actually where I did my undergraduate degree, and I'm now doing my master's degree here as well. And it's super, super fun, and I love living in England, and I really want to stay after my degree is finished as well. So I figured kind of coming towards, I'm in the kind of latter half of my master's degree now, and there's no more classes, it's all just independent research from this point on, and I wanted something to kind of take my mind off the stress of research and the kind of scariness of finishing my degree and potentially having to become a real adult, because who's ready for that? Not me. So we're gonna do this instead, or not instead, alongside, and I'm hoping I can kind of just use this to kick back, relax, talk about something I love, and kind of keep the stress levels down to a minimum, because I've also had quite a lot of health issues stemming from stress as well these past year and a half that have come out, and this is something I think might really help me mentally, and I hope if there's anybody out there that has those same kind of issues dealing with stress and anxiety and things like that, then my channel will be like a nice, safe, relaxing place for you to come and watch makeup and not worry about any of that anymore, because that's kind of what I need it to be, and I hope it can be that for anybody who also needs that as well. So I should probably talk about what I'm going to do for my video today. You might be able to notice I don't have a ton of makeup on right now. I have my base makeup on, so I've got my foundation, my concealer, my contour, and my brows on. But what I'm going to do is actually a first impressions review of a new eyeshadow palette. And this is the palette we're going to be reviewing today. This is the Collection Makeup Matte Nude Rose Eyes palette, and it says, "Let your eyes do the talking, create your matte nude rose look." And it's got 6 shades. The little spongy thing just fell out. This is what that looks like here. And they've got some really pretty kind of blushy tones in it. But first impressions, they're quite soft. They're a little powdery, which is kind of what you'd expect from drugstore makeup. If you're in the States, I don't know if you can get the Collection brand. I've never seen any of their makeup in any of my drugstores at home, but to be fair, I haven't been back in a while and I haven't looked for this brand specifically. I got mine in Boots over here in the UK, but it looks really pretty, and these are definitely some tones that I think get along quite well with my skin tone. So I'm going to zoom you in, do some swatches, and then we're going to try it out on the eyes and see what happens. Okay, so we're now like super close into my face. Apologies for the kind of patchy texture of my skin. Stress is one of those lovely things that affects every part of your body, and unfortunately my skin is kind of #1 suspect. So I'm just going to put my hair back real quick with this flower headband that I had just like on my desk, just to get my hair out of the way for this. So this is what the palette looks like really up close. Like I said, some really nice looking tones there. And I'm just going to do swatches, cream shade to dark shade, we take the cream shade. Wow, the camera focuses slowly. That's what it looks like just when you swatch it on your finger. And you can see that one doesn't really show up a ton on your hand, but that means it'll probably be quite a good base shade to just kind of set down whatever primer you're going to use for your eye and make sure that there's no kind of patchiness there. The next shade in is kind of a skin tone, slightly rosy undertone skin tone. That's what that looks like on the finger. Can you see it? There we go. And you can see that kind of just gives a nice sheer wash of color. So that could be quite a good like lid shade kind of thing, maybe a nice transition color. This is the third shade in. It's that pretty kind of peachy rose tone. That one is the first one where you get quite a bit of pigment showing up. And that one blends out really soft and nice and kind of buttery. I kind of blended it into the second skin tone shade there. Sorry about that. And then we've got this kind of, there we go, camera, peachy nude shade here. And that one, I feel like it's quite, yeah, that one's fairly pigmented so far as drugstore products go. I'm quite happy with that. Then we've got this fifth shade here, which is a kind of dusky mauve shade. Ooh, I just realized I'm probably going to look like I'm flicking you guys off here. I'm not, I promise. And that one shows up quite well on a finger swatch. Little powdery, a little patchy, but blends out quite nicely. And then doing that dark shade again. That one, I think, actually almost swatched the nicest out of all of them. It's fairly solid pigment. Come on, camera, focus on that. So it's not the most stable eyeshadow quality. The colors are pretty, and I think they'll probably blend out fairly nicely, but I don't think they're going to be super dimensional, and they're not going to be very separated. I think they'll just kind of help to give some nice dimension and kind of wash to the lid, but you're not going to get like a super dramatic look out of this. So to start with, we're going to start off with our MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Just going to get some on my fingertip and put that all over the lid. This is a really nice eye primer because it helps to kind of blur out any veins that we might have poking through, and it makes sure the eyeshadow isn't going to crease on you, which is ideal. Nobody wants creasy eyeshadow. And if I'm looking down while I'm doing this, that's just where my mirror is. So I'm trying to kind of check myself in my camera monitor and in the real life mirror because it's slightly easier to see in this down here. And first I'm just going to set the paint pot with that cream color. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of fallout. Do you see kind of how much dust is on the bottom of this palette right now? See how dusty that just got? Like, super dusty, super dusty. And we're just going to take that all over the lid and up to the crease, just to set down that paint pot. And that'll help us blend any shadows out on top of it as well. It does have some pigment to it. It's kind of lightening up the areas that I'm putting it over on top. This is the Y17 brush from Morphe. It's just a nice fluffy domed brush, and we're going to take that second shade, the kind of nude shade in there. This one has so much fallout. Oh gosh, that's really, really powdery. Can you see the amount of powder that's just gathered when you do that? And we're just going to pop this in the crease as a light transition shade. Alright, we're not getting a ton, but you can see it's creating just a touch of a shadow. Just gonna go in with a bit more. So this is shade number 4, the kind of peachy color. And we're gonna put this on the outer half of the eyelid. it's very, very sheer. Very, very sheer. I feel like this would be a really pretty color if it had more pigment. Right now, it's really just kind of going into like a peachy, washy skin tone. There's nothing wrong with how it's blending it all, I will say that. It's more just that it needs more pigment. So I'm gonna keep going with what I was trying to do and take shade number 3, which is the kind of peachy pink, all over that same Morphe brush. And this, it looks really pigmented on the brush, so like I'm really hoping that actually shows up when I do something. I'm gonna put that over the inner half of my lid. And there's really nothing happening with this. You're getting a little pink. A little pink. But really nothing too dramatic is happening with that, is it, guys? Not at all. Oh dear. That's really sad. I wanted these to be pretty. I mean, they're like pretty, they're just not really doing much. If you're like a really low maintenance, doesn't want a ton of pigment kind of a deal with eyeshadow, and you just want something super duper natural, this would probably be a fairly good option for you. Sadness. Sadness. Alright, want to try that kind of dark chocolate shade on the outer corner. So I'm going into it with the Morphe Y17, what we used for our transition color, and I'm kind of tapping the tip of my brush into that. So much fallout is coming up on that, guys. Like, you see how much like powder texture is in that? Like, powder everywhere. So definitely tapping that off. And we're just gonna put that into the crease and see if anything happens. Again, super light. It's kind of just blending out really muddy because the pigment isn't staying anywhere. Like, you can definitely get it fairly dark. Also, my neighbor just started lawn mowing, so if there's an obnoxious buzzing in the background, that's what that is. But yeah, it's the shadow in the pan is super powdery, and it's like producing fallout all over the place. And then when it blends into the eye, it's just not making a massive impact. I definitely want this to be more pigmented than it is. It's not a bad color. Color-wise, this is actually a really nicely toned brown, but the pigment is too sheer, and it's just kind of causing it to pull up fairly muddy, which is really sad. Gonna just finish up the top of the eye, take the other side of the flat brush because I've just been using one side of it, so just gonna flip it over and take the cream shade again. And just stick that under the brow bone. It's a nice brow bone highlight. This, as a shade, just kind of cleans up edges. Doesn't leave too much behind. If you just need something to kind of be there to tie together the look but not actually change anything from the look, then that cream shade is quite nice for that. Okay, so I went ahead and popped on my liner and some lashes just to kind of finish off the look. I also put a bit of inner corner highlight because this palette doesn't have any shimmery shades in it, and I always want a shimmer in the inner corner just because I feel like it really opens up my eye, and especially if I have eyeliner on, my eyes can get really squinty and I just don't like that. So I went ahead and put that in using the NYX Jumbo Eyeshadow Pencil, and this one is in Strawberry Milk. This is a really, really pretty shimmery pink shade, and Sorry, my phone's ringing. Oops. I will call you back later. My boyfriend's trying to call me right now, but it's fine. But yeah, it's a really shimmery pink shade. It puts a really nice pop of light in the inner corner and just helps to kind of brighten everything up. With the liner and the lashes on, it does kind of look more like there's something on my eyes. Initially, the pigments kind of looked like nothing was showing up and I really wasn't getting anything out of it. But now I actually kind of like how it looks. It is fairly subtle so far as, oh, I think he really needs me. Hold on. But I think it's actually turned out very pretty. And I actually, on second thought, quite like this. Conclusions on the collection Matte Nudes Road eyeshadows. Initially, not super pigmented, very powdery, a lot of fallout going on. But the fallout, as long as you tap it off your brush, wasn't catching on my face. You just need to make sure you get it off the brush before you go to apply the shadow, and then that wasn't really an issue just beyond the pan getting quite messy. But the colors are pretty. I think my favorite colors are definitely the shade number 3, which is the really pretty pinky peach, and shade number 6, which is the kind of deep chocolate brown. The other ones, the cream is convenient just because it gives you a nice base to blend things on, and then you've got your brow bone highlight in there, so it's not like just bare when you're doing a look. So you can do a complete look with this. I'm someone who always really wants a shimmer for the inner corner, so obviously I was going to add that on its own. Because it's a matte palette, it's not going to have that, and that's fine. That's how it's advertised and meant to be. Price point wise, I think it's pretty good for the price point. I mean, you're getting 6 shadows here, and it costs $3.99, so £4 basically. And that is really cheap, especially for several eyeshadows. So this is a little cheaper than a lot of the eyeshadow that you're going to get from most drugstore brands. And for that, I think it's actually pretty decent quality. And in the end, it did wind up making quite a pretty eye look. So if you're in the market for something on a budget and you're looking for some kind of just blushing nudes that's got a good crease color and a good kind of base matte color, then this might be exactly what you're looking for. Overall, it's not my favorite drugstore eyeshadow that I've ever purchased. I've got some ones from L'Oreal that I really like. But so far as eyeshadow palettes go, it's not that bad. And certainly for the price, I think definitely like worth £4. I think I could get £4 worth of use out of this palette. So yeah, overall, I mean, not my favorite thing ever. It's not going to blow you out of the water, but it's not bad. And I would say just go check it out for yourself and see if it's the kind of thing that you're looking for in an eyeshadow palette. I got mine at Boots, but I know you can also get them at Superdrug. And yeah, that is it for this video. I feel like I'm running out of breath. I'm like forgetting to breathe when I talk to you. That's not ideal, is it? So yeah, guys, that's the end of this video for today. Thank you so much for watching. It's really nice to be back. If you are already subscribed from back in the day, thank you so much. And thank you for coming back and watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that button down below so you don't miss any of my new videos coming up. And yeah, thanks so much for coming back. I really enjoyed being back and talking to you guys again, so hopefully you enjoyed seeing my face back on the YouTube. It will be back around quite a bit more. And yeah, leave me any comments if you've tried this palette. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it worked on you, if you had the same kind of experience so far as the pigment and things like that go. If you have any recommendations of things you want me to try and review, definitely leave those down below as well. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I said for the like 3rd, 4th time now, but I'm really gonna go this time. Thanks so much for coming and watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!